Alex, Cora, how we doing this week?
Doing good, doing good.
You guys have been hot prior to last night anyway, which is where I want to start. That third inning seemed to snowball a little bit on Bayo. You look at Tanner Houck, phenomenal year, 2.18 ERA. Cutter Crawford, 3.59. Nick Pivetta, 4.06. Bayo's at 5.55. How do you get him more in line with those other guys?
Yeah, it's been a challenge, to be honest with you. The stuff is a lot better than in the past. He's throwing harder. The changeup is good. The slider, much better. We're not throwing strikes. And, if you look at his outing yesterday, double down the line, bunt base hit, ground ball that goes through, it is what it is, right? They're going to put the ball in play against him. But then he walks the leadoff guy and the second hitter in front of Vladdy, and then you have Vladdy on a 3-1 count. We have to be more aggressive in the zone, induce to weak contact, be more efficient. And we've been talking about this for 3 weeks now, right? Stuff is great. We're not efficient, and we're going to make an adjustment. We're going to push him back, give him kind of like a breather. Instead of starting on Sunday, he'll start Wednesday in Miami. So we can do some work on the side instead of one bullpen, probably throw two, and hopefully we can accomplish something this week.
So what specific? I know you're working on throwing more strikes, but what specifically are you having him focus on or work on?
Yeah, I mean, the bullpens are very specific. The attention to detail is on point. So try to recreate at bats. I think that's the most important thing. That's something Bells does a good job with our pitchers. Instead of having a full at bat in the bullpen, you go by 3 pitches. Can you get this guy out in 3 pitches? If you throw 2 balls, right away, then you fail. So kind of like create an environment that we challenge him to be more aggressive in the strike zone, and hopefully we can accomplish. Like I said, this guy is very important for us, not only now but in the future. And obviously, the emotional part, we have talked about it. He's done a lot better the last 2. But now we got to get back to be aggressive in the zone, and if he can do that, he'll be okay.
I was just about to ask, you just mentioned it, the emotional aspect with him, something you saw on display there on camera last night. As a manager, as a coach in general, how do you sort of work on that with a player?
Yeah, I talked to him a lot since last year. Obviously, the language is a lot easier to communicate, right? Just walk him through the outing. I think that's the most important thing. Kind of like detach the emotion from what really happened. And when you do that the next day or you do it 2 days later, he is a lot easier, right? And then, you turn the page and be ready for the next one.
You guys are 6 games over 500, 43-37. We mentioned you are in the number 3 wild card spot right now. So certainly in the playoff mix, month out from the trade deadline. It's been a while since we've asked you about your contract status. That was an early thing that we asked you. I know you get asked it a lot. We haven't asked specifically. And it's a topic our listeners are pretty deeply interested in. As I said, we're approaching the halfway mark. Has anyone from ownership or management approached you about an extension?
No. And this is something I told them right before the first pitch in Seattle, that I don't want to talk about the contract or whatever situation during the season, respecting the fact that we came from, we finished the last 2 years. We got to be better. And honestly, like I told you guys a few weeks ago, I'm in a good place. The Cora Felicianos, they love it here in Boston. They love the Red Sox. But at the same time, we feel great where we at, as far as like everything that is going on off the field. My daughter graduates next year. The boys turn 7 in a month. So there's a lot of family stuff going on too, and we'll see what happens.
But if we all have a number, right? So if they came to you with a number in season, you don't want to hear it right now?
No, we're not talking about the contract.
All right, and just so we get this right, when we put it out on social media and everything, you told them this preemptively. They didn't come to you and you said, no, I don't want to talk about it.
No, I told them before the
You told them before the season started.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, with that in mind, looking ahead now, Jarren Duran is someone who went 0 for 5 last night. Do you think maybe you got to talk to him, get him warmed up a little bit?
Maybe. Maybe. You still have to work with him because, as you know, he's very emotional. He's a full speed. But yesterday he put a good swing in the first one. In the second at bat, obviously the last one, we were all rooting for the hitting streak. Yeah. It didn't happen, but he'll be ready for tonight for sure.
What does he bring to this team in the clubhouse, along with obviously his dynamic play on the field?
I do believe the consistency of the work is showing, right? Like, I mean, you see the results, but the other guys around him, they see it, and I think lately, he's been more vocal in the clubhouse, in the dugout, something we challenge him to do because we're looking for a voice here. We got the guy at third base that leads by example. He's going to hit 30, driving 120, and hit 280. But somebody in the clubhouse needs to step up, and this is not only for this year, this is for the future. We've been talking about the prospects coming up in a few years, right? The three amigos in Portland, right? And there's more, actually. So when they get here, we don't have that void, or the organization doesn't have that void, right? They need somebody in the clubhouse that can help them to be better, and I think Jaron can do that.
So this echoes something you said earlier this week, and we're joined by the manager of the Red Sox, Alex Cora, here on Jones and Mego with Arcan on WEEI. You said he can be that guy. Why is he the choice? I know you said Devers the lead by example guy at third. Why is he the guy that you gravitate to or think players will gravitate to?
It's just, throughout his career here, he has lived the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? So he knows how it works, He felt the pressure early on, as a player. He talked about it, right? He was very honest about, how he felt when he got here, the way he went, and I think those experiences have made him a better player, a better person. Leadoff guy that produces, that plays every day, it's funny because when I play here, I was a utility guy. Oh, he's a leader. I'm like, no, I'm not a leader. I'm the 25th man on the roster. I'm doing my part to help everybody to be better. But, it's not that I call meetings and all that. But it feels like right now, let's say they need a team meeting or players only meeting, he can run that one. He can tell, hey, let's talk about this stuff. And it's just the way he acts, the way he prepares, the way he plays. I got my boys. They're 6, and whenever we're talking baseball, whatever, take a look at Jaron Duran. That's the guy. Run to first, because they get into the whole flipping the bat. My boys, I just got a video. They're at Babson College with Matt Noon in his baseball camp, and Xander, who's a left-hander, he hits it and flips the bat. I'm like, oh, you got to go,
Xander, I like it.
You can flip the bat, but you got to go, right? Like, not too many guys at this level hit a pop at third base. Arenado loses it in sun and gets to third base. Not everybody hits a pop-up to third base and gets to second base. So if you got a kid, just make sure they see Jaron the way he plays, and he's the guy that you should follow.
Tyler O'Neill and Rafaela out of the lineup tonight. Anything we should be worried about there?
No, just a day for Tyler. Take care of him. They'll be available out of the if they bring a lefty later on in the game, we'll bring him in. Just trying to make some match. We got a lot of good players now, and we got all the lefties out there, so hopefully we can score runs.
How would you say you have a good relationship with Craig Breslow? It's been ongoing throughout the course of the year. Would you say it's
been good, solid? Yeah.
So do you have the kind of relationship where, it's the deadline in a month, and you can go to him and say, hey, Craig, I think we need this for our team. I think we need a bat. I think we need a starting pitcher. I think we need a relief arm. Do you have the kind of relationship where you can go to him and say, this is what we need, and he can go get that done?
I think we have grown the last 5-6 months that we're having conversations. We're not there yet. It's funny because you said that. My brother called me yesterday. What are you guys doing? And I'm like, I'm not asking you. I don't ask you about the Tigers, right? Like, respect my space, right? But those conversations are going to happen. One thing for sure, and you said it best, is the third wildcard spot, right? There's a lot of teams around it. Let's shoot for more. There's a few teams ahead of us that they're struggling. I know we've been talking about the wild card, but there's a lot of season left. It's 82 more games, I think it is, right? Well, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I believe that this brand of baseball, is sustainable. We can do this because we're going to pitch, and athleticism is going to take over. So let's play well the next 2 weeks, put us in a better spot, and then I bet the conversations are more serious.
Can you go to John or Tom or Theo or anyone like that to do it?
I have a good relationship with them. I think I can do it.
Okay. Well, with that in mind, the last couple of trade deadlines, it seems like the clubhouse was pretty vocal about the fact they wanted things to happen. Xander, Rafael, I mean, you had guys speaking up. You spoke up. Everybody sort of had things to say about that. And I always wondered how you navigate between wanting to add to the team but also putting faith in the guys you have in the locker room. Where's sort of the line there?
Well, I think it's very important, especially with this group, that it's a young group that most of them, they're going to be here, right? So I think it's going to be a lot different than in the past. If you look at the trades that we made, Valdez, Abreu, they're here, for Christian, so for everything that, we went through, we made the right choices, right? We got some good players. I think this year, I've been saying all along, these guys, they don't know any better. Like they play a day game in Cincinnati. It's 95 degrees. You know what they do? They play hard. They just keep going. They lose 4 in a row. They just keep going. They're in a point in their career that they're establishing themselves as big leaguers. So they don't have time to be thinking about if we get this guy, if we get that guy. Obviously, the veterans, yeah, they always talk about it. But I think we're young enough that whatever happens in a month and a half, we're going to be fine. We're going to keep playing good baseball, and we're going to win a lot of ball games.
Time now for our Sherwin-Williams question of the week. It's sponsored by Sherwin-Williams. You can ask Sherwin-Williams how to bring color to your life. And our Sherwin-Williams question of the week is brought to you by, or from rather, Hugo Barrasso, who says or wants to know what you've brought to the table, Alex, that no other manager has done before for the Red Sox.
Big question.
And how has it made your team stronger?
Man, there's been some great managers in this organization, you know, from Tito, John won a World Series, Jimmy Williams was great. So I don't know. I just probably that I'm bilingual, probably.
There you go.
That's a good
bilingual,
one.
right? You know, communication with the guys, you know, having that one-on-one conversation with Christian Vasquez and it's in Spanish. So there's no in between with the translation. So that helps.
So I was going to ask if maybe you got the like what's the dress code thing you have going on some of these road trips?
Yeah, we so it was getting sloppy.
You're talking to define sloppy. You're talking to two radio hosts.
No, but you know, like they'll go by my office. I'm like, man, I remember the days with the Dodgers. I played for the Dodgers, right, early in my career, and this is from Dodger Town in Vero Beach, Florida, all the way to Los Angeles. You know, collar shirts, slacks, dress shoes, sports coats on the road. You know, when you flew in San Antonio and Albuquerque. And here it was like hats and T-shirts and ripped jeans.
Nice.
And had
Who's the worst defender?
There were a lot of them.
A lot of them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna point them out. Yeah, some of them actually they're not here anymore. But I had a conversation with some veterans, and we came to the conclusion. The first trip it was from St. Louis to Tampa. We were gonna do it. Sports coats to guys with 3 years of less service. The travel secretary goes like, Alex, that's like 22 guys. I'm like, yeah, that's what it's all about, and staff, right? So, you know, they show up in their sports coats, some of them in suits and all that. I think it helped, you know, with that transition, you know, the whole veteran and rookie thing, you know, veterans now are buying clothes for them like back in the day, and that's something that it helps. And the guys have bought into it. This week we got beach attire, so shorts, sandals, it doesn't matter going
for
to
the Miami trip.
Yeah, and going to the ballpark too, same deal. Then red, white, and blue going to New York July 4th, nice. And then comfortable. If it's a night getaway day, it's comfortable. You know, don't wear your sports coat, but it's been good so far, so good.
Okay, that's our Sherwin-Williams question of the week. If you have paint questions, you can ask Sherwin-Williams. Alex, Cora, we always appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.